Hi, this is Realtor Meruz. Today I'm here with Julie Sanchez at Alder's Mortgage. We're going to talk about loans, pre-approval, how to be approved, how to get a home, how to be qualified for it, all kinds of things that has to do with loan. She's been in the business for a while, and she's going to talk about all those major questions that keep coming to me. And I feel like, you know what, this is the best time to shoot a video about it. And I try to cover as much possible, but if I don't, stay tuned. We're gonna continue in this series of video that goes about everything that you, as in basically a home buyer, need to know about being qualified. So, Julie, how are you today?
I'm great,
Good?
thank you. Yeah, how you doing, Marissa?
Awesome, good. Thanks for asking.
Good,
So, tell me about down payment assistance. This is the most asked question so far.
Yes.
What are we having?
So down payment assistance can be great for some people. There are different programs out there. One of the most popular is Home is Possible. And one of the things you want to keep in mind is it works for some people and it may not work for others. But another thing to keep in mind is that there is money that you can qualify for, but you still need some money in order to buy, because and the other thing to think about is nothing's free, and so there's some parameters and guidelines and details in there that most people need to make sure they know about. So they are out there. It's not for everyone, but again, it's always good to look at those options.
Definitely. So as far as low down payment, what do we got there?
That is a great question. So low down payment, just, a lot of people have the misconception that you need 20% down or even 10% down. It's amazing. There was a statistic out there, and there was a high number. It was in the 80 percentile of even millennials and baby boomers and so forth that thought they still needed, as a first-time home buyer, 20% or even 10% down, and that is just not true. What is true, Maruz, is that you can get into a home as little as 3% as your minimum down payment, between 3.5% and even 5%. So there's actually a number of 3% down payment programs, and what I like to do is figure out what are you eligible for and then give you those options.
Awesome. So here at Alder's Mortgage, you guys are a mortgage broker or you're a bank?
You must be asking that for a reason.
Of course, because of course there are different programs that each mortgage lender they have, and I want to know, I guess our audience probably wants to know, what do we have to offer?
What does that mean? So basically, we are both, to answer that question. So we are both a banker. We have our own line that we lend on, and we are also a broker, so that we can provide additional programs that might, meet the needs of clients. So we do have some programs, even programs such as like bank statement programs that might work well for like self-employed borrowers, those kinds of things. So we want to keep it a little bit open to that, but that is a great question. So again, it's whether or not we broker out to a lender or we bank our own loans, and we do both. So did I answer the question?
Yes. Okay, so we're going to go more in detail in future videos. But today I'm just going to see how we can cover the basics. But stay tuned, we got more videos coming up.
Yes.
So let's talk about first-time home buyers. They're the one that I guess need the most help, and there's more questions, because once you've done it already, then you kind of know if you're buying your second house, even though it's kind of a different ballgame, because first-time home buyer, they don't want to go too in detail. But let's talk about first-time home buyer at the moment, and then I guess next question would be, let's say someone bought a home today, and within next 12 months or 24 months, they're planning to buy another home. So now it's getting kind of tricky over there. That's when you guys come in and kind of do the whole basically shebang to get them qualified for the next one. So there's two ways, I guess, to doing that, but it's not my expertise. I let you to handle that part.
So great, but that is also a great question. So first-time home buyers, let's talk about that first, and then we'll cover, you know, what if you're planning to maybe add to an investment portfolio, or maybe you're planning on buying your first home and then maybe getting an investment property later and building upon that. So first-time home buyers, you know, one of the most important things is to be the most competitive buyer right now, because as you know, Maruz, our market right now in Las Vegas is a balanced market kind of right now. It is starting to be more of a balanced market. And what that means is that buyers and sellers are really starting to negotiate more now. It's not so much a buyer's market as it is a seller's market anymore. It's a little bit more balanced. And so why is that important as a buyer to be the most competitive? Because you want to make sure that you can, when you get into an offer situation, you want to make sure that you are ready to go. There's no questions on whether or not you're pre-approved. And so some of the things that you can do as a first-time home buyer is really talk to a mortgage expert. Don't talk to your friends. Don't talk to someone that thinks they know. You want to talk to a licensed mortgage professional that actually has experience and has been doing this a long time. And the reason that's important is because the guidelines and there's so many changes in the mortgage business, even in real estate, that you can get that information even online. So, you know, I like to tell people, let's just have a conversation. It doesn't have to, you know, doesn't mean you're going to buy a house. It just means if you can get the right information and I can give you that.
Exactly. I always tell all my clients that, hey, you know, our service to them is free.
Right.
Real estate agents don't charge buyers. We charge the sellers, but not the buyers, right? And also loan officers, they don't charge you. I mean, their service is literally free. They need to make sure all the dots are coming together for you to basically be qualified for your loan. And then they're getting paid from the bank, not you. So even if you think you're not ready, or your credit is not there, or you probably think about that down payment, and that's one of the things that people always keep thinking, I don't have enough money. So it's good to start from before the time that you think that will be your ready to go time. Get in touch with a good loan officer, and they can basically get you there way faster and more accurate, and that's when the real number comes together. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is absolutely, you're right on track, Maruz, because what the misconception is, oh, let me get prepared and ready before I talk to the loan expert or the mortgage loan officer. And that is actually the furthest from the truth. If I have this conversation so many times with clients, if I would have talked to you a month ago or 6 months ago, oh, I could have, you know, you did this and you kind of shot yourself in the foot, you know, and unfortunately. So there's things in credit that are very mortgage specific. There's also, when we pull credit, it's very different from when you're monitoring your credit through maybe a service like Credit Karma, or there's other apps through your maybe your credit card that gives your score. Very different, and it's a very different way that I can guide you through getting, again, in the best position possible. Yes. There's also guidelines with, you know, what's eligible for the money that you can use for a down payment, or if somebody can give you funds as a gift. There's all kinds of rules, and it's interesting. And what I hear from people is, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't realize that. No, why would you? You don't do this every day, right? This is what I do.
Exactly. So let's talk about whether you should rent and continue renting versus buying, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. If your rent currently is anywhere between 12 to 16, 1700 or higher, you're wasting your money. I mean, this is what I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You know,
especially nowadays, I mean, rents are skyrocketing.
Yep. Here's what we know is true about the Vegas market is the rents continue to rise.
Definitely.
You can look that up. It's a statistic out there. I don't know the number, but rents are rising. And so we know that that's going to continue with the Raiders coming into town and all the other sports and whatever else our city has to offer and is, you know, that's up and coming. Definitely. And so what I would say to that is, you know, let's see if it makes sense for you to buy versus renting. Exactly. I have a report that I can actually compare the two. I can actually compare over time how long you think you might be in the home, and see, is this going to build wealth? Because you don't realize not only are you making your mortgage payment and reducing that principal balance, but you're building wealth through appreciation. And so
Definitely.
I can actually go into those numbers and show someone there's just way more than just the payment.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything to what so far we talk about, so we can basically?
Yeah, one of the things I do, and you kind of touched on it, is just about credit. If you think that your credit needs some help, like I said, one of the things that I say, if I can give you anything today, it's talk to a mortgage expert that really understands credit and mortgage financing. And the reason for that is because, again, you want to be in the best position possible, and there may be things people are surprised by. I tell people, don't pay that collection off, don't pay that credit card down, let's do this instead. And I have a very specific program that I can actually go in, do a scenario, and it's pretty accurate. In fact, I can tell them, okay, pay this down to 50%, only pay this down by $200. Don't do anything with this, and it'll actually give me the result that
exactly.
we need.
So
and
instead of I guess people just do it in their own and they think they're doing it correctly.
Right, and they may not be. It may not be, and remember, it's good, better, best. It may be good, but it's not the best.
That's the whole point. I guess by reaching out, if you're really planning to buy a home, and I guess you need to start from when you think you're not ready.
Right.
So we can get you ready.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I've had clients that have contacted me a whole 12 months ahead, and we've prepared them, and they're homeowners now. And it could be as little as 3 months, it could be 6 months, wherever you are. Let's have a conversation and talk about it.
Definitely.
Okay.
Well, Julie, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
We're gonna add all the phone numbers here down below, so you guys have Julie's information and also mine.
Yes.
If you have any question, please reach out to us. Don't hesitate. We're here to answer all your questions, or you can just comment below if this video goes to our YouTube channel, and we'd be happy to answer all your questions.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
No, thank you. All right, we'll see you.